we've come to the end of section 2, which was about the behaviour of the seeker, or as I prefer to put it, the attitude of the spiritual practitioner. And the first 2 sections were really a kind of preamble, a preparation for the teaching proper, for the stories. So if you have watched all the videos before this, well done, and if you've just jumped in at this point, good luck. But before we begin, the translator, Swami Venkatesananda, has put in a page about space or dimension, which is a translation of the word akasha. And it's quite technical, so you might want to just miss this video out. I was wondering whether I should say anything about it, but there's some interesting stuff here, and since it's here, let's see if we can tease out some meaning from it. So this is on akasha, space or dimension, or akash, I suppose, akash. As I say, it's very technical, so you might want to just skip this video. 3 important words occur in the text, which are cidakasha, Cittakasa and Bhutakasa. Literally, akasha means space, and hence Cidakasa means consciousness space. That's because I suppose Chitta means consciousness. Cittakasa means mind space. Chitta usually means the mind, heart, and mind and heart. It's thoughts and feelings. And Bhutakasa means the element space. Bhuta is the 5 elements, the usual ones of earth, water, fire and air, and also akasha itself, which includes space, because the 4 elements don't exist by themselves, they also need space to exist in. So we've got the 5 elements. So we've got the space of consciousness, we've got the space of the mind and feelings, and we've got the space of what we might call physical space, the space of the elements. These 3 concepts are thus beautifully explained by Bhagavan Ramana Maharishi. Ramana Maharishi was a great sage of the 20th century who lived in southern India, on the hill Arunachala. In fact, a lot of these teachings which are popular nowadays, so-called Advaita teachings, really stem from him. But anyway, let's see what Ramana Maharishi's got to say about these 3 concepts. So we've got a big quote here from the Maharishi. It is said that Cidakasha itself is atma swarupa. And the translator says in brackets, image of atma. Atma swarupa. Well, swarupa really means the essence or the essential characteristic of something, so image maybe isn't a great word for swarupa. And atma means, well, it's got different meanings. It normally means the self with a capital S, the essential self. So it's said that Cidakasha, which is the space of consciousness, itself is the essential characteristic of atma, of self, and that we can view it only with the help of the mind. How can we see it if the mind has subsided? Because the idea is that we're wanting to quieten the mind. So the question is, how can we see it? How can we see this atma swarupa, this essential essence of self, if the mind has subsided? Bhagavan said, if the sky is taken as an illustration, it must be stated to be of three varieties: cidakasha, Cittakasa and Bhutakasa. So these are the three varieties of sky. The natural state is called cidakasha. So cidakasha, which is a state of consciousness space, he's saying it's the natural state. We might even call it the primordial state. The I feeling, the I that we talk about when we talk about ourselves, the sense of I that is born from this primordial state of cidakasha is Cittakasa. As that Cittakasa expands and takes the shape of all the bhutas or elements, this is all Bhutakasa. So there's a kind of this is really the where creation comes from, and this section that we're about to start is the section dealing with creation. So we've got this. There's this primordial being. This is the sense of being, which relates to the field of experiencing, which I spoke about earlier. From that, there is this intrinsic tendency, which I call the cognitive process, which gives rise to notions about the world. And these notions take on a very solid form in the form of the elements. We think of the physical world, because we start believing there's actually a physical world out there. So we start believing in it. So that's really the process of creation, and I suppose that's why the translators put this passage here, because everything that follows actually is an expansion of this. Now the problem is, when the Cittakasha, which is consciousness of the self, the I, does not see the Cidakasha, which is the primordial being from which that I arises, but sees the Bhutakasa, it is said to be mano akasha. Mano means mind. And when it leaves mano akasha and sees Cidakasha, it is said to be cinmaya, which is pure consciousness. The subsiding of the mind means the idea of multiplicity of objects vanishes and the idea of oneness of objects appears. When that is achieved, everything appears natural. Well, there's no idea of oneness. I mean, there is just the oneness. So we could say when the subsiding of the mind means the idea of, we're not caught up in the idea of multiplicity of objects anymore, and we realise, we come back to that sense of primordial being, and when that is achieved, everything appears natural. Or we could say it appears, we're in touch with what is real, and we operate from a newfound sense of harmony.